Am I back on, Jim? I had to reboot it. It said the meeting had ended.
Yeah. It kicked everybody out, Paul.
Guess you got an extended time on it, Jim. Can you do that?
I thought we had gone for extended time. We were paying for the extra.
We weren't paying for anything. They gave it free to everybody.
Oh,
It just booted us out, but we're all back in. We have another 40 minutes. Today is not Zoom's day, clearly.
Zoom allows for 30 minutes free. That's why it knocks you out.
Wow. Thanks, Kevin.
All right, Mayor, you can unmute, start the meeting up.
I'm not mute.
All right,
Am I okay
Mayor,
now?
we got you now.
yeah.
Okay, good. As I was saying, I talked to Chris Brown this morning, and I talked to the governor's office yesterday about moving our May 1st date to later in the year. And right now, nothing has been done. We're still waiting. So hopefully we get something done between now and the first of the month. And but right now, that's your May 1st date. Your May 1st date is when you have to do your taxes. But we're fighting for you and trying to get back on.
Thank you, Mayor Simpson, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Oh, it worked. I rebooted and it came back on.
There you go.
All right, now thank you very much. And to everyone, I want to thank you for all the work you're putting in. This isn't an easy time.
Yes, thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. Next, Jim.
You're muted, Jim.
Jim Bennett.
Let's try this again.
There you go.
Okay. I think Janet was trying to get our attention before. It says Janet's iPad. Did you wish to speak, Janet? Wave at the camera if you would, please.
Hi, guys. I'm just.
Hi.
How are you?
Stuck in a house.
Well, we're wait. We're
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. I just wanted to give you an update. The Farmers Market Committee is still working. We're trying to decide what to do this summer, and we're looking at a possible drive-through and different possibilities to keep our farmers functioning. They have already started to plant. So we'll be getting together, and then we'll be calling upon you for guidelines.
Okay. Thank you.
We're on it.
And can I have your name and address as well for the record?
We're Janet and Richard Lieberman, and we're on 28th Street, 403.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Next one, Jim Bennett.
All right, I'm scrolling through. Mayor, stand by.
Okay.
All right, if anybody wishes to speak, just give me a wave. I'll unmute you if you can't unmute yourself. All right, Chief, stand by. Okay, go ahead. Mr. Mackey.
All right. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Good, Jim.
Okay, great. First of
Everybody's
all,
named Jim.
great job. Yeah, but it's chief between me and the lieutenant, right? Or the captain or the chief. It's chief to chief. Anyhow, the reason I'm calling is I know that I was on Don Williams last week, mentioning that I thought it was, not proper for the flags to be flying at half staff. And I know Governor Murphy signed an executive order number 114 ordering the flags of the United States and the flag in New Jersey to be flown at half staff at all state departments, offices, agencies, and instrumentalities indefinitely, starting April 3rd. I know we have a lawyer on council, Councilman DeLuke Reed. Not sure if municipal governments were considered a instrumentality. Are they considered an instrumentality? Rick? Does anyone know if municipal, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
So if a municipal, first of all, I noticed that since Friday, there have been no American flags flown from, from the front of the island, including City Hall today, and the Veterans Plot, and also the City Hall, Veterans Plot, the entrance to the island, and I'm trying to think of, one of the other. I was just wondering why there are no flags flying. I know we had a couple of bad days of weather, and but Saturday was not a bad day, and today is not a bad day. So they say we're at war, but there don't seem to be any flags flying here in this town except personal flags. Any reason for that?
Mayor, may I?
Yeah, sure. John Doring.
Mr. Mackey, I'm responsible for the flags in Brigantine. And the reason the flags are down in preparation of the storm that we had on Monday. I took them
Okay,
down
understood.
Friday. I took them down off on Friday. We are still today, Wednesday, cleaning up after the storm. So I will get them up as soon as possible. And the governor's order, the way that I read it, was all American flags. And I sent it out to everyone that we were lowering the flags as per our governor's orders. And I
Okay.
agree
I was
with
just wondering, I was just wondering if a municipality, first of all, I find it, to people that are first responders and people in the medical field that are dealing with this day in and day out, including my wife. She's in a ICU unit, 12 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. Okay. First of all, they didn't fly the flag at half staff on Mount Suribachi in Iwo Jima, and thousands were dying at the time. They didn't fly the flag at half staff, at Fort McHenry while Francis Scott Key was riding the Star-Spangled Banner. And I think it shows from the governor's standpoint, I think it's weak. And I think that it's unnecessary. You mourn, you lower the flags after this is done. But everyone says we're at war, including people on this council. And the thing is, if we're at war, you don't, that's basically a sign of surrender in my personal opinion. So I didn't know if there's any way around that to where Brigantine, with many people, in the healthcare field and first responders, to fly that flag high, and just say, you know what, Governor, we're going our own way on this. And that's how I feel. And that's all I have to say. Also, was wondering if the ball field, the thing is, I have three sons here. They're big into baseball. And, what's the deal with the ball field closed? But the thing is, there's people pushing, carrying their bags and pushing their golf carts here, on the course. And it happened this past Saturday. They just kept coming. They kept coming. And but kids can't play on a ball field with their parents, throwing the same ball around. We live in the same house, but I can go on the golf course and play 18 holes. I don't understand the rationale. And is there enforcement going on the golf course? If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Well, quite frankly, Jim, the cops do throw the kids off the golf course.
These were adults, Mayor. I'm sorry. These were adults. Okay.
And you want to get back
And I
to the
got
flag?
pictures. I got pictures if you want to see them.
You can have all the pictures. That's great.
I know,
But-
well, I'm at the 17th hole. Come by and say
Okay.
hello.
But Jim, if the governor wants the flags at half mast, I'm putting the flags at half mast. Don't,
Okay,
it's not the rest of the
that's fine.
council. It's my call. If I turn around
That's fine.
and be honest with you, Jim, if somebody of importance dies and the president doesn't lower them, and I think they should be lowered, and they're going to be lowered. So,
That's fine. You know
Until-
what? We're gonna, well, like I said, that's your authority, Mayor, and
Right.
I understand your position. All I'm saying is I am going to recommend that all civilians, non-public entities, fly it as high as they can. But
well, my
so thank
flag
you very
outside of
much.
my house is
Keep
at
up.
half mast
I-
because the governor
I know it is.
asked me to. Governor asked me
I
to
know,
fly
I
at
know, I'm
half
just
mast,
saying-
and that's what I'm doing.
Well, all I can tell you is I have friends from Okinawa, Japan, to Italy, to Sicily, to England, from Kodiak, Alaska here. And guess what? They think what the governor's doing is weak, and that's all I can say. It's you don't do that as a reminder to the people that are going in quote into battle every day, with a half-lowered mask. Before they get to work, they're already seeing a half-lowered flag saying, "Oh, instead of you should be saying, hey, you know what, we can conquer this." But it's just one of those things. I know it's more of a sentimental thing, but that's where I stand,
Okay.
and that's it. But thank you so much for your time.
And I thank you for your passion for it. And there's no respect against anybody. We're
I
fighting
didn't
the
say there was
virus.
respect. I'm just saying if
Jim,
there was a way to
We're
work
fighting
around
a
it. that's all.
virus right now that we never fought before in the whole world, and it's pretty scary out there. So
Well, I know I wish you the best of health also, Mayor.
you too, Jim.
Thank you.
Jim, I need your name and address as well
Oh, yeah.
for the record.
It's James Mackey, 1325 Varden Road. And John, you guys do a fantastic job. I was just trying to get to the bottom of things because it seemed like it was a 5-day lull and the flags flying either half-staff, which is if that's what the governor wants, that's what he gets. So, but I just wanted to make sure that that everything was okay. And if you needed a couple of extra, I have some at my house if you ever run out.
God bless you, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, if I could just say one thing, Jim. I mean, you know how I feel on it, Jim. We spoke the other day, and I did a little research after we spoke, and if it's any consolation, we're not alone here. I mean, New York, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, there's numerous other states that are flying their flags at half staff. So, but at this time, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
the
Was
one
any
the thing
decision
is the
made
White
on the-
House.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Move on to thanks, Jim. Let's move on to the next person. Jim Bennett. Too many Jims.
I'm scrolling through the list now, Mayor, see if anybody's trying to get our attention.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't see anybody trying to get our attention to speak, Mayor.
Okay. I'm going to close the public portion. And I want to open up the council. I'm going to start with Karen, First Ward. You want to start it out with us?
Everything is just as quiet as it was last week when I reported. We're all hunkered down. Every once in a while you see a family go walking by, and we're just trying to stay safe and well here, ordering our groceries with Instacart. And my Instacart order did come with the thin film plastic bags, so Acme is back to using them as well. And that's about it. Just stay well, everybody, and thanks to all our first responders and all our healthcare workers. just hope we get through this as quickly as possible. The longer we stay in our homes, the quicker we're going to get out of here. Thank you.
God bless you, Karen. Thank you. Councilman Lettieri.
Yes, good morning to everyone, or good afternoon to
Morning.
everyone.
Afternoon.
Everything here in the second ward seems to be getting back to normal. We did lose a couple roofs. We lost a telephone pole or electric pole on 12th Street North, and I believe, I haven't been out there yet this morning, but I believe the pole is still down, for the street is closed for anybody's information. Also, the promenade is closed to pedestrians and anyone else. So please adhere to that closure. The beach, however, is open and has access from other areas. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. God bless you, pal.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Councilman Haney.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey,
Mayor, I
Dennis.
just wanted to bring up on like our April 9th emergency meeting that we had. There was a young lady, don't recall her name, but she brought up the 14-day travel quarantine, and I did speak to her and just to give her clarification on that, because it just seemed her comments on it were vague. And, I had a level of concern about that. We certainly don't want any misinformation out there. So obviously, she was referring to the resolution we passed on our April 1st meeting. And I just want to say that it's very important that we just adhere to what the governor's doing from up above, and we work with the unitary management. I know Mike, after our April 9th meeting as well, spoke about how it was moved forward to the county and how it was well received. And I don't know if there was definitely they took it under advisement, said they were going to move it forward, but there was no strong endorsement, obviously, of it, and they're just going to move it along to their legal people, but at the and whatever conference committee they might have with it to discuss it. However, Executive Orders 107 and 108 still pertain to the counties as well. It pertains to county, any governmental legislative body, below the governors, that he just wants to have that. He's accenting that unitary management that he wants for everything to come down from above, but at the same time, everybody can work together. There can still be communication. For instance, I heard State Senator Chris Brown on the radio a little bit this morning. He was on the Don Williams show, and he expressed his concerns regarding whatever it might take, regarding if it reaches a point to where we have a problem here with an overflooding of people. But that's part of our legislative process. I mean, they can work hand in hand with the governor. I know Chris was disappointed that the governor and the attorney general basically decided not to move forward any further with what he was talking about. But I just want to say that it's that the county has got to, we all got to be on the same page. I just want to reiterate that, and I'm wishing the best for everybody, and then hopefully we can get over the hump with this thing and move on. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. God bless you, pal.
Thank you. God bless you too, Mayor.
Yeah.
And all of us, all brigantine.
Councilman DeLucre. You there, Rick?
Is he on the grid here? Oh,
Let's give Rick a second.
yeah.
Hey, Jim Bennett, is Rick on?
Yeah, we see him. We see his call-in, Cesar DeLucre, and he's not muted, but I don't, not getting any audio from him.
Okay, let me go on to Councilman Reardon, and I'll come back to Rick. Maybe having some technical problems. Mike, you out there, pal?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that Rick?
Yep, that's you.
Okay. All right, very good. So I just wanted to bring up, I know as this thing goes on, businesses are getting hard hit, and there are still those loans available through the SBA. You can go Google SBA, Small Business Administration. I guess one of the first ones you want to apply for is the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which gives you $10,000 without having to repay that. And then, of course, the second one is the Paycheck Protection Program. And I'm being told to tell people to apply for both. You don't know if you get one or the other. You can only take the one. But, you know, the money, it's first come, first serve right now until they have additional stimulus programs. But apply for that if you're in business. I want to compliment all the first, second, and third responders once again, as well as thank everybody who's at the meeting here today, took the time out. But the first, second, and third responders, they're all doing a fabulous job keeping things going right now. And in the middle of it all, you see bright, shining examples of light in darkness. I mean, there's a lot of spirited acts of generosity and kindness. People, volunteers getting to quarantine seniors that can't get out, shopping for them, food shopping, people making masks. That's what we do in Brigantine and a lot of other places, but we come together and like this. I was talking to some of the medical people, one of the doctors over there at Atlanticare, and he was telling me just this morning before the meeting, as a matter of fact, that so far things are manageable. The hospital's handling things, but certainly would be more stressed if isolation wasn't going on. He'd prefer to see that restrictions and isolations that we proposed on April 1st. Not much wiggle room. These patients put stress on the system by way of the PPE needed and severity of illnesses. He says they're getting by, but the ICU is filled with COVID patients. So, you know, I mean, since our meeting on the 1st, on that day in New Jersey alone, we had 267 deaths in New Jersey. As of today, there's 2,800 and 2,805. That's more than 10 times what we had on the 1st. What's it going to be in another 2 weeks? So with that being said, I'm very, very happy that we worked together on that April 1st resolution. It's got a lot of positive feedback. I was just talking to Rich Dace also. They're meeting and talking on that. Nothing in that resolution that we agreed on and worked on goes against governor's orders. If you read it directly right towards the bottom of it, where it says we want to establish the 14-day quarantine travel restriction, and it's people who do not reside, own homes, or have business in the county may not travel to the county except for essential purposes. And as Chris Brown, the senator, said this morning on the radio, if it was up to him, he'd have the roadblock set up right at the entrance to the town in Ventnor. So hopefully at some stage, I don't know how much longer we have to wait, but the subcommittee, per Rich Dace, our freeholder, is getting together, and they have some other issues with testing. You know, so that's that. And thanks very much.
You're in error there, Mike. Executive Order 107, page 1.
Dennis,
Stop,
we don't need to disagree. You don't need to criticize me. We all voted for it.
I'm speaking
You have a
objectively.
problem with it, Dennis. There's, you know, you don't need to do it, then. You don't need to do it, okay?
Don't do it.
It's
Don't
not,
do it
it's
on
not
this.
disagreement.
Don't do it on
It's
this.
not, okay?
Don't do it on this.
All right. There's nothing on here that goes
Call
against
each other.
governor's orders.
Call each other.
I spoke my piece.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I don't know what the
Vince?
problem is. You know,
Well, you want to
Dennis,
keep
really.
it going, huh, Mike?
We voted for it. We all
Keep it
voted
going?
for it. You voted, you
Yeah, I
didn't
said
vote
we
for it.
passed it, correct.
All right, okay,
I abstained, and I gave my
all right,
reason.
yeah.
And everything's in black and white.
People for
Deputy
Brigantine
Mayor,
are asking
Deputy
for
Mayor
votes.
Vince Sarah. Deputy Mayor Vince Sarah.
Thank you,
Please
Mayor.
get on. Vince?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
First of all, I really want to thank our city employees. They've really done an outstanding job, and everybody's been working really, really hard. This is like something none of us have ever seen in our lifetime, and hopefully we'll never see again. The community's been outstanding. There's been a lot of support and a lot of good people trying to do things to help pass the time, you know, and that's, I think, the hardest thing is dealing with the uncertainty of the time, you know, because there's no end date. A couple of people have reached out to find out, I guess, statewide what's happening with schools. my understanding from the governor's office is that he's going to make a decision and an announcement on Friday to determine what happens with the rest of the school year. So as with any school district, we're waiting to hear what the governor says, and then we'll go from there. So again, thank you everybody very much. Thank you for your hard work. And thank you to council. There's a lot of good conversations going on behind the scenes of how we can protect the city and move the city forward, and just make sure that we are able to open up as soon as possible to make sure that our businesses can be successful. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vince. And as I was saying, that the governor's office phone call was yesterday instead of today at 3 o'clock. He had to move it up. And believe me, when I talk, or everybody else in South Jersey, Cape May, Toms River, all those mayors, when they talk, there's no bipartisan. There's bipartisan. There's no thinking of he's a Democrat or he's a Republican or anything like that. So there's no fighting. We move on. We move on. Sorry, I lost you for a second. And we ask questions, and it's not that, I'm a Republican, he's only taking care of the Republican towns or anything, or Democrat towns. It's nothing like that. It's Americans helping Americans. That's what it is. Some good news that I heard around town today, that somewhat $1,200 went into people's bank accounts from the federal government today.
Oh, nice.
So everybody run out to the mailbox and see if your $1,200 is in there from the federal government. So that's a good thing right now. The golf course is closed. I know there's some walkers out there, but it's like open space. People just walk out there and hit balls around and stuff like that. And that's something I like to see, but it's not. It's under the governor's orders that we should be shut down. But people are out there playing some golf, and it's a good thing. And we removed the bag ordinance today. That was a good thing to allow people a little safer environment. Besides that, we have tough times ahead of us, guys. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be Memorial Day that we're going to open up and everything's going to be gone. This might change the whole landscape of our being down at the Jersey Shore. So, we're working hard. Everybody at council's working hard. I appreciate every time I make a phone call to any one of you guys or gal. You have a comment and we move forward, and I appreciate that. And before I go, I want to make sure, is Rick on the line? I want to make sure he has his comments too.
He just sent a text out to us all, right? Did everybody get that?
Yeah, I got the text.
He's got the audio, but he can't participate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it, just audio.
Okay. Again, a lot of people got $1,200 in their bank account automatically deposited in there, so that's a good thing. It looks like Dennis is ready to run out the front door. Go check it. So,
I was going to donate mine to Mike, if that's okay.
There you go.
Whoever calls, Mike will find something, okay?
So,
we'll find some.
But the stuff at the seawall, I got a few emails. I had to call some people, and it was just too many gathering down there. It's short. It's only about 10 foot wide, and then we have benches and everything. It wasn't a good thing down there. We had some problems at the bird tower, and we eliminated the problems. And just by shutting down the cove it gets everybody on the front beach. And be honest with you, I think sooner or later the front beach is going to be closed. But right now it's open, so enjoy it. I'm just going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Before
Mayor,
you
can
close, I have a question.
Yes.
It's actually for the city manager. I know a couple people have reached out with questions about enforcement of the ban on the short-term rental ordinance. I don't know if you had an update for council or an update for the city about, I guess, how people go about that enforcement.
Okay, yes, Deputy Mayor, I can give you a project report as to where we're at today. Following our passing of our resolution and the issuance of the executive order, all the properties that are currently registered as short-term rentals have been sent letters and emails notifying of the new ordinance and the freeze. All the local real estate offices have been emailed and or faxed the same thing. Fire prevention has created an email address, and we're going to be putting out a release later on today, basically notifying folks, if they see a property that's being occupied, to call fire prevention / rental inspections. If somebody doesn't answer the phone, just leave them a message. They do check everything regularly. They are the enforcement arm of this, so they will be issuing any summonses, revoking any rental privileges if need be. We were able to talk today to Airbnb. They are sending a direct message to all of their hosts today, notifying them of it. And as of June 1st, they will be putting a calendar block in for the city of Brigantine, island of Brigantine, and Brigantine Beach is how it shows up on Airbnb. Jack Murray spoke with a representative of Expedia.com. Expedia owns VRBO, HomeAway, and quite a few other of these short-term rental websites. They're going to be doing the same thing that Airbnb did. They're also, rental inspections is working with the police department. We're going to be sharing information. So when we get these calls that come into the police rather than fire prevention, perhaps on the weekends or late at night, we will have the opportunity to follow up with the property owner and issue summonses or revoke rental privileges as need be. And that's it for now. Keep tuned to the social media and the city website in the next couple of days to get the rest of the information out.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Vince.
Mayor, could I just say one? I just wanted to compliment our. Earlier we extended our gratitude to our first, second, and third responders, and here on that. They're doing an outstanding job, obviously. And I just brought up the county before, and I just wanted to say that they too have done an excellent job. I just want to thank our freeholders for the outstanding job that they do, and we have an excellent county executive in Denny Levinson. And I know everybody's working forward, just trying to conquer this thing and get us back to where we were before. And I know they're setting up the testing sites and everything else. So my tip of the cap to them as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Anybody else? Hearing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What was that about?
Motion to adjourn.
All right.
Okay.
I was just going to say, Jimmy, one thing just about the rentals, because the notices just went out to the landlords. There were people that had rentals booked for this week that may still be in here, because I've gotten calls, people concerned, oh, they're showing up and they're coming, but that's the reason why people may be here this week, right?
That's correct. And that's notwithstanding people who are going around the system or were able to go around the system. But yeah, that's why people are here, because the notices just went out and we're not allowed to throw people out of these rentals once.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because between people calling me about seeing the renters and a few landlords calling me saying that they were very good, actually saying they understood. And, we have to do what we have to do, even if it's travel restrictions and 14-day quarantines and all. All right, thanks. Motion adjourned.
Thank you, everybody, for April 15th meeting. Probably next week we'll have our emergency meeting just for our budget, to pass the budget to go on to the fiscal year of 2020, 21. So be safe. And believe me, this stuff is hitting home. I have a friend of mine that has the corona disease right now. She's okay, but it doesn't mean it doesn't come to Brigantine. I'm telling you right now, I think we have 6 people that have it, and we have 1 death in Brigantine. So be safe out there, and God bless you all. God bless Brigantine. God bless America. Thank you. Have a great day.